The world is adapting to the coronavirus, the illness COVID-19, and lots of things are changing all around us. One thing I've noticed in my practice as a consultant in the realm of business and marketing is many of us are carrying around a layer of anxiety about our homes and family and providing for them. There's another layer about our business and staff and clients. And then we hear the news bombarding us all the time.
Mm.
In that backdrop, I have Alexandra Frost here, clinical psychologist from Attuned Psychology in Adelaide. Alexandra, thanks for having this chat.
Thank you.
I wanted to get you on because some big changes are happening in the world of therapy, and my gut feel emotionally as we go through this is more than ever before, we need to maintain our lifelines to our therapists. So at a top level, what is a major change that's taking place to enable that continuity to happen?
Well, I think we're all recognising that if people are isolating, they are in need of care consistently. And with mental health, it's really important to provide that continuity of care. And historically, we've just started to open up into telehealth quite recently for psychologists, even though it's been used more in medical settings. So we're starting to take that up. And recently with the bushfires, there was access to services there. Prior to that, there was access for those living in rural and remote communities that couldn't easily access services. But now with COVID-19, we're entering a different era where we're facing the opportunity that there will be people unable to access face-to-face services, possibly for illness or if we go into a full lockdown. So we're preparing ourselves as a practice to increase that side of things. What we're excited about is that the government has already announced that private health cover will be accessible for people that use telehealth. So phone or video links, and Medicare they're looking at the moment, and it's looking like a response that will be across the population. We don't know the details of that yet, but what we do know is currently we've been approved for bulk billing for certain situations with those that are diagnosed with COVID-19, those that are suspected of a suspected case, those that are in have a chronic health issue, or those that are in a vulnerable category like people over 70 or pregnant women, for example. So it's a changing world, and we need to adapt and provide services in a different way so that people can get the care they need.
Now, of course, change brings its own little dose of anxiety as well.
It certainly does.
How are you feeling about, because this is what it's going to be like now when you're talking with many of your clients.
Yes. It's interesting. I've done a little bit of it in the past, but only a minor portion of telehealth. So as a practice, we've all been talking about how do we navigate the therapeutic relationship with a screen between us rather than a physical space. And it's quite a precious thing, the therapeutic relationship. And I think many people are a little bit nervous, a little bit unsure of how that's going to work, as we are, but we are upskilling ourselves as we speak. We're doing a webinar tomorrow night that the Australian Psychological Society is running for all of us to get more familiar with the process and to understand the particular things that we might need to consider to make it a safe and professional experience that feels really positive for people and feels very reassuring that they can access the care they need.
And it is still one-on-one. You're still having that chance to look someone in the eye as you...
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And that's very important. You know, the non-verbal interaction between people is quite critical. We can do it also by phone, so that's possible. So if links break down, or if people prefer phone, because sometimes people do, they might not have access to a video link, but phone they may well have. We've got both options, but we know the voice and the face give us a lot of information. So in either setting, we'll be tuning into that as we do in the therapy room. But just with a video screen in between us, a computer screen in between us, or a phone or a tablet, laptop, whatever device people are using.
During this time, whilst you're still able to have face-to-face sessions,
yes,
you've got a whole range of protocols in place
We
to
have.
prevent infection, etc. But just finally, if
Mm,
someone is contemplating staying home but still wanting to access
mm,
you and your colleagues,
mm,
what is your what do you say to them to help them feel
mm,
at ease about the process? Because
mm,
I know that you've had to sort of
mm.
work through this yourself.
Yes.
What you advise?
Well, I think it's about recognizing that that relationship between the therapist and the client is the most important part of change for people. So if we can create that relationship using technology, we can sustain that relationship. That's going to be the most important thing for their care. There's going to be anxiety and discomfort and awkwardness on both sides, particularly that first session, getting used to it. But we'll work with the client to navigate that and to make them feel safe and normalize the anxiety that we're feeling as well. You know, what it's like to see yourself on camera and see the other person. It's a different experience, but still the advantage of having the face-to-face or the voice is very reassuring for people. So what we're noticing is that people's anxiety is very heightened at the moment, and we're all feeling it because there's so much uncertainty, there's so much that we don't know yet. And with uncertainty, we have a lot of anxiety. If we have the certainty of a relationship that we can tap into at a time where we're now being forced to not connect socially in the way that we're used to, I think that's a fundamental anchor in our world right now that can allow us to feel a sense of safety and security when everything else feels a little bit out of control and that we're powerless over lots of things. But if we can control the fact that we can have a conversation with someone we trust and that we know they're still there for us, then I think that's a very critical thing to remember. But even if there's anxiety, I would just encourage people to give it a try and to actually know that we can help them navigate it. We can make it easy for them by emailing them a link that they click on and talking them through it. If they get stuck, there's ways we can do that to make it more seamless.